here's the truth. Most people were raised to chase security, not success. We were told to go to school, get a degree, go get a job. But the truth that nobody told you is security and freedom, they don't exist in the same house. And if you're relying on somebody else's schedule for your life, you're not free. If you can't decide tomorrow to wake up and make better life decisions and have the potential to immediately improve your life situation, you're not in control. And that's exactly where I was 6 years ago. I had the work ethic, I had the hunger, but I had nowhere to channel it to. And then I found something completely different, a system that rewarded me based on results, not time. And that was the life insurance industry. But let's be real. When we think about wealth and good careers, we think about doctors, lawyers, or even like professional athletes. And that's what society tells us is successful. But here's the truth. That version of success is built on a bunch of time and a bunch of debt for the most part. Doctors that go to school for like 10 plus years, they rack out $300,000 of student loans and eventually start making good money when they're like 35, 40 years old. Lawyers spend tons of time in the classroom, climbing the corporate ladder, working a ton of hours for a little pay when they're brand new. Even athletes, most of them never become truly wealthy. Now, obviously there's outliers, but for the most part, a lot of them earn really good money for a short amount of time and it's all gone. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with those careers. They're amazing opportunities, but it took a lifetime to build. And to stay at the top, they have to keep feeding the machine to stay there. Now, here's the part nobody realizes. More millionaires have been created in the life insurance industry than both medicine, law, and sports all combined. Now, it's not glamorous and it's not talked about as much, but the business rewards performance, not potential. And it doesn't take 10 years of school or hundreds of thousands of dollars of startup capital. It takes a license, a system, and a work ethic. That's literally it. And what's crazy is most people spend their entire life trying to reach a certain level of income that somebody can achieve here like in a couple of years. And when you learn how to do it right, that income doesn't just stop when you're done working, it continues to compound. Because for every single family you protect, or if you're in leadership, a teammate protects, we continue to get paid on that policy month after month as long as the clients keep paying for the policy. And it becomes a financial asset that pays you again and again and again and again. So if you're chasing wealth, like maybe the problem isn't your potential, maybe you're just in the wrong vehicle to chase it. So let's talk math a little bit, okay? I'm gonna break down exactly how the math works. The average policy that we write is $100 a month. So let's say we do a sales presentation, we read a script literally word for word, we get to the very end, they're like, yes, Arturo, we wanna take out a policy. The average policy that we're gonna write is $100 a month. That means the clients are paying $1,200 a year, because that's how our commissions work. We get advanced based on the annual life premium of the policy. So if the average policy that we're gonna write is $100 a month, that means the clients are investing into their policy $1,200 a year, and that is their annual life premium. We call that ALP. So at the agent level, part of Global Life American Income, we as the writing agent get advanced in upfront money, about half of whatever the clients are paying annually. So in this example, $1,200, they're investing into their policy, ALP. We as the writing agent are gonna make an income of $600 in upfront money. Now, the most amazing thing about our company is that $600 is just the upfront money that we're entitled to for our work of enrolling this family into the policy. And that's just like a very small percentage of the amount of money that we're actually gonna get compensated for this one policy over the lifeline of the policy. That's what makes our company so special. But we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a bit. So let's pretend, using these numbers, which again are average, that we want to make $100,000 a year. okay? That would be 166 sales over the course of a year. We broke that down a little bit. That means all we gotta do is find 4 families every single week. 4 sales equals $100,000 a year in income. If you get 4 people to enroll into the average policy. And let's just say, you know what, Arturo, $100,000, like, man, that just doesn't really excite me. I want to make $200,000 a year. Okay, perfect. Just double this number. That's $200,000 a year. And we have plenty of agents doing that in a day, let alone in a week. So that's not like an outrageous number, 4 sales, 8 sales in a day, just so everybody knows. Now, the average person is not going to do that, just being transparent with you. But if you got that dog in you and you're willing to work it, you're willing to be coachable, for sure. I was new to the business. I came from playing college football. In my rookie year, I was able to clear over $250,000. Like, if I can do it, other people can as well. And I wasn't the first, and I'm not gonna be the last. But that's how the money works at the agent level and just writing life insurance policies. Now, one of the most powerful things about our company is, the upfront money's cool. We'll take that. But it's the compounded financial asset that we're going to continue to paid over the lifeline of the policy, which is our residuals. So for every single policy, even at the agent level, we're going to own 3%, okay? So I'm just going to keep math very simple, but just understand, imagine if you were making 166 sales a year, because obviously that's 4 sales a week. But imagine if we did this over the course of 2, 3, 4 years. Like, how much money would that pay you every single month for all of the sales that you previously made? And that's the real power. We have tons of agents that have been in the business for a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long. And they're earning $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $3,000, $10,000 in residual income. That's not like their earned income from the work and the sales that they're making. That's from all of the previous sales that they've already made. And when we get to our veterans, forget about it. Think of a big number on the top of your head. Throw a dart at the wall. Somebody's making that money. Think of an even bigger number. Spin it again. Throw it. Somebody's making that number. Think of an even bigger number, an astronomical number. You're like, no, there's no way somebody's making that. Somebody's making that. So that's the power of the upfront money as an independent agent who writes life insurance policies. However, there's also leadership in our company, and that's where things start to get really exciting. Some people don't want to be in leadership. Other people do. You have to have a heart for service. You have to have a heart for dealing with people. People are people, and people are going to be a headache sometimes. But with that extra responsibility, that extra privilege also comes an opportunity to earn overrides, bonuses, and residuals on the team's performance. So to make math very simple, I'm going to break down a contract that we have. It's called our Master General Agent contract. Just one of our leadership positions, okay? We have people that are achieving this position, just so you guys get an idea of how difficult or hard it is. In a year and a half, like 2 years max, that would be like, somebody that took a little bit longer. But an MGA position, just to keep math simple, let's pretend we are an MGA. And we have 10 people on our team, all doing $2,000 of annual life premium in a week, okay? So that's like making 2 average sales. Again, even leaving a little bit of room for error. Let's pretend this person's new and for whatever reason wrote a policy that was less than $100 a month. So 10 people writing $2,000 of premium a week. That means your MGA team is doing $20,000 of production a week, okay? If we did the math on that, so 10 people, we find, we train, we retain, we help develop, we pour into with our blood, sweat, and tears 10 people that can do the job at a high level, well, not even at a high level, at the average level, then write $2,000 of production, you have a team writing $20,000 a week. If we did the math on that, that means the team is doing $1 million of production a year, okay? As the MGA that's leading this organization, we would make roughly $350,000, depending on how much personal production you wrote, but this is assuming zero. $350,000 of income in a year for leading this team. That's before you write any piece of business. So if you write a piece of business, it's obviously gonna be more than that number. But think about that. Find 10 people doing the bare average, $2,000 of production. That is $350,000 of income before you write an application. Now again, let's say Arturo, you know what? Like, man, that number just doesn't excite me. Cool, double it. So let's say you have 20 agents writing $2 million of production a year. That would be, $700,000 of income in a year. Let's say again, Arturo, you're like, man, that just, nope, doesn't get the wheels turning. Pick whatever number you want. Find out how many agents you would need to be able to do it. And we have plenty of people that are destroying this number. And that is how you see people that are leading organizations, leading teams that are making millions in the life insurance industry using these models. Obviously you're not limited to just selling life insurance and or leading a team. I've always liked doing both. I enjoy the sales, but I also love leading people. So I've always done a combination of the two and been able to make an amazing living doing that. And the one thing that I just want to point out as I'm doing these examples, that is an earned income. Again, this doesn't even include the residuals that we're getting on this business. So let's pretend, just for sake of example, I'm an MGA and I do this year one. Year two, even if I do the same exact thing and I don't find one more teammate, or if I don't increase the AOP for the year by 1 penny, I'm gonna make more than this because my residuals are gonna keep stacking on top of that. All right, but now that we've gone through the math, I wanna break down what it actually takes to achieve these things, because our business is not a get rich quick. That is the last thing that I'm trying to paint this as. It is a get rich for sure, because you can for sure come into the industry and do these things and do these things. It just takes the right person. You just gotta have that grit. You gotta have that work ethic. But I wanna be transparent with you guys, and I wanna walk you guys through exactly what it would take to accomplish these things. So step number one, we're just gonna start right here, the selling of the life insurance side of things. In order for me to make this sale, first thing that we have to do is we have to call somebody. Now, one of the best parts about our company is I don't have to pay 1 penny for a lead. I don't have to go sell friends and family. I don't have to go be my own marketing team. All of the leads that are provided and are the same leads that have helped the company become a multi-billion-dollar company that's been around for the past 71 years. So I'm gonna use extremely modest numbers, because the last thing that I wanna do is paint this like something it's not, okay? And whenever we're talking about calls to contact ratio, which I'm about to talk to here in a bit, this is where it can vary a lot, because we have new agents that like literally don't even know what they're doing. 3 months ago they were working at Schnucks and now they're a life insurance agent. Or maybe we have a veteran that's been in the game for 10 years and they're a pro at this. So it's gonna vary. So just to use extremely modest and conservative numbers, I'm gonna use 25. So that means every 25 people that I call, somebody's gonna pick up the phone, okay? And if we just did math on that, I'll just make life a little bit easier for you guys. In order for us to actually be able to do this right here, I'll just do the math for you guys. That means you're going to have to make 1,250 calls for the week, okay? So that means using our CRM, you don't actually have pick the phone and dial numbers, but you have to contact 1,250 people. Now it is 2025, so we like text messages, so just you have to contact 1,250 people. That can be the same person, it's not uncommon for us to have to reach out to a lead a couple times before they actually engage with us, but you gotta reach out 1,250 times to another human being, okay? Now out of those contacts, we're gonna get a certain percentage of people that actually engage in a conversation with us. Again, gonna use extremely modest numbers here, just to keep it as transparent as possible. Let's just say, worst case scenario, okay? Because remember, calls to contact ratio is 25. So that means every 25 phone calls, I talk to one human being. Let's say I talk to 50 people for the week. So 50 people for the week. And let's just say I'm new into the business. I don't 100% know what I'm doing, so my phone skills may not be on point. Let's just say out of those 50 people, I book 30 of them, which that's very doable, even for a new agent that is literally just reading our phone scripts verbatim. Super doable. Now, show ratio is something that we also have to account for. Just because I book you doesn't mean you're gonna show up. So let's just pretend, again, using extremely modest numbers, that out of the 30 people that I book, only a certain percentage of them show up. Okay, let's just use 12. That's, again, extremely doable. Now we're gonna run our presentation. We're gonna read it word for word. And again, let's just pretend I'm a new agent. I have literally no idea what I'm doing. You're not gonna sell every single person that you speak to. Company average closing ratio is 33.3%. So for sake of example, let's just say that we sold 4 people. That's how many people we sold. Remember, the average ALP per sale is $1,200. So to sell this, that is the workload that is gonna take to be able to accomplish that. But this is the math, this is the blueprint on how somebody can enter our business, learn our systems and procedure, use our company provided leads, and be insanely profitable in the life insurance industry. This is the same blueprint that I have used and the same blueprint that I've showed tons of other people to use that have completely changed their life. Now, again, when we talk money, I always want to end by saying this. Our business is not a get rich quick, but for the right person who's willing to work hard, who's willing to stay coachable, there's nothing stopping you other than you. So if that's you, the life insurance industry may be for you. But aside from that, hope you guys took something from this video, but hopefully that brought clarity and understanding to the life insurance industry. Hopefully the math makes a little bit more sense on how people are making an amazing living for themselves within the business. But aside from that, that wraps up today's video. I will see you guys next time.